Hey, what's up everybody? It's Yusuf for Video Game Plot Summaries, and this is the second part and the final one, I hope, of Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. In the last episode, the prince thought he had a girlfriend and was bringing the Time Empress back to Babylon with him. And then some dude showed up, the vizier, and killed her butt, took all the sands for himself, and turned himself into a butterfly. So the prince is trying to get a hold of him so that he could get his kingdom back. So the prince runs into the Indian princess Farah, who has saved him a few times while she's trapped in Babylon. She's going to get the vizier, the prince is going to get the vizier, so maybe they have something in common. So that's the recap. Let's continue the story. Man, real talk, this is a busy month. I'm exhausted, man. Hit the like and subscribe button for me getting this one out on time, for real. Why does everyone's birthday have to happen at the beginning of the year? I have no idea. So now Farah and the prince team up. They go through the city, and when one person can't get past, the other person makes a way for them, and vice versa. Of course, they have to talk like they've been together for a long time already. Unlike the first one, the prince doesn't have to convince Farah to like him after his dad took over her kingdom. So that's convenient.
What? What is that thing?
It's the vizier.
What's happened to him?
Something terrible.
Something wonderful.
Wait!
No!
Be happy that he is gone. You never would have stood a chance.
Oh, how silly of me. You're right. Perhaps we should surrender. Or turn away and leave the city. I know a lovely little island just a few weeks' journey from here. I'm sure by the time we return, this will all be sorted out.
If it comforts you to mock me, then by all means continue. But you are so focused on killing him, you've thrown strategy completely out the window. You could have died.
I suppose. But now we need to find a way to enter the temple. We're wasting time here.
That seems to be our best bet.
I'm sorry. How does that not hurt? I mean, it's important to note that Farah has a plan, but... Ouch. Dude, your arm is stuck into your chest, man. Anyway, the prince and Farah use a bell to get to the gardens. Then the prince maneuvers and pulls some levers to move Farah around.
Such a beautiful building.
Father built these gardens as a symbol of his love for our people. Once, all the kingdom was like this.
Try using these levers. If I can reach the other side, I might be able to find a way to open that door. Do you think you could move a little faster?
You're more than welcome to come down here and try it yourself. 7 years and still nothing's changed.
7 years? What are you talking about?
It's a figure of speech.
There is something very odd about you.
She has no idea.
Ah, we are making progress.
I think I see a bell in that tower. Perhaps if you can get me to the next balcony, I can sever its rope. You can use it to access the door switch.
With my luck, it will probably trigger some terrible trap. Or summon sand monsters. Or bring about the end of the world.
Would it kill you to show a little optimism?
Experience has taught me wishful thinking only leads to disappointment.
By the way, the prince was right. It did spring a trap. You should have took that opportunity to hit her with the "I told you so," you know what I'm saying?
See? You did it!
We did it.
Wait! There are people hurt inside. We should help them.
Now is not the time, Prince. You can help all you want later.
Go, Farah. Tend to the wounded. I will catch up with you once I've dealt with the Vizier.
So, with Farah off and the prince on his own, he gets a chance to throw out lines of bravado without being told he's an idiot.
To conquer a city is one thing, but to do so with such violence and cruelty is something else entirely. I will return every blow he has landed against my kingdom.
We are close, Prince. So close. Let us make him suffer.
By the way, even though the game hasn't really explicitly stated it, the prince is also looking for his father. I mean, why wouldn't he be? The prince probably hasn't seen him in a very long time. So the vizier escapes after having killed a bunch of the royal guard. The prince follows behind him but loses his way. Unfortunately, he runs into Farah again, who can give him an update on all those people she went to save.
And you? What of the troops?
Dead. All dead. But I saw the Vizier, or whatever it is he's become. He flew towards the palace.
Then we know where to go.
All right. But I seem to be, well, stuck.
Of course, now their pathway is stopped, so now the prince and Farah are back on the same team doing the same co-op job. So the prince frees Farah.
Thank you, Prince.
Of course. The problem is, now I am trapped.
Just like a woman. Solving her problem creates a new one for you.
Allow me to return the favor, then.
And he jostles around the marketplace until he provides a way for Farah, who does this excellent parkour move that I still can't comprehend. But eventually, their paths converge. Finally.
At last, we have returned.
Did you hear that?
If you know what is good for you, say no.
Farah, we must press on. I am sure she will be all right.
Are you mad? She was begging for her life. She said there were others.
No, we can afford no more delays.
Good. Put her in her place.
These are your people. You are their prince. And yet you would leave them to suffer?
That man has taken everything from me. And now that I have the opportunity to punish him, you want to delay me? Have you forgotten what he did to you?
But
You are burdened by a guilty conscience, Farah. He made you watch as your people suffered, unable to aid them. You are not to blame. Do not let it cloud your judgment.
It is not I who suffers from clouded judgment. You may choose not to help them, but you cannot stop me.
I go to kill the Vizier, to end this, while you run about applying bandages to axe wounds.
Good riddance. She has been nothing but a distraction, always getting into trouble and slowing us down. Finally, we can... What?
Something could happen to her. I cannot lose her again.
No, no, no! We're so close.
All right, everybody, it's time to lose some subscribers with another tangent. I believe it was the second Prince of Persia where I made the observation of how selfish the prince is. So the two battle for fate and destiny. I mean, when you think about it, the prince is only trying to save his own life after he took place in taking over a city to give as a gift to his dad's friend. The story paints him out to be a hero, but really he is doing nothing for anyone but himself. Instead of letting everything be the way it is, the prince keeps trying to fix things for himself by going around in the time stream and changing things. Obviously, there is a high need of self-preservation on the prince's part, but he's always chosen himself over the needs of others. So in the grand scheme of things, even though he's a protagonist, he is usually in the wrong. The Time Empress was aligned with the prince because she was trying to change her fate too. And it put the prince in a weird position because he was having a hard time explaining to her how they could work together and no one has to die. But I mean, the Empress was really smoking hot. Who wouldn't want to go to a deserted island and bring back a beautiful woman like that? It's just too bad that the story has shifted back to a respectable woman with no boobies that has a philanthropic mind and calls the prince on his crap. I mean, who the hell wants to be a better person? Ish. The only problem is that the prince is only working in his own interests still because he really only cares about Farah, not because he cares about his subjects. Well, the prince catches up to Farah before she actually does anything of note.
I have thought about what you said, and you are right.
Can't you see we're in the middle of a conversation? If you really do desire death, kindly wait your turn.
I have killed most of the guards. It should be safe. Go and find the women. Free them. I will deal with her.
By the way, the whole time the Shadow Prince's voice in the prince's head is very concerned with convincing the prince that they are the same person and that the prince's real ideals are those of the Shadow Prince's.
Wonderful work. You return to save Farah and then send her back into the thick of it while you run after this one. My hero!
You know as well as I do that the brothel is no longer dangerous. But if I do not kill that sand monster, she will pose a threat to Farah.
Anytime he gets the chance, he tries to finesse the regular prince, but he's not very good at it. His argument is always, women, look at all the trouble they cause. Okay, so the prince follows the sand monster lady, who was the one that stuck the razor whip on him when he tried to rescue Kaileena. The prince catches up to her and they have a regular fight, but at some point the Shadow Prince comes out to play.
No, not now!
The Sand Woman is an interesting fight. Usually in the Prince of Persia games, once they give you a slow-mo, you try to hack the system and hit the people with the slow motion so that you can cut them up, which is what the prince does to begin with. Once the transformation happens, she don't want to fight you. So you parkour over to her, and once you get to the same platform, she jumps across to another platform. So you have to use the slow-mo at that point to stop her from jumping over. Anyway.
You waste your time. The Vizier has already begun to transform the women I imprisoned. You buy yourself hours at best.
If I had some sands for every time someone said that to me. Oh, I do.
The women are free and headed to safety. It was right of you to return. Prince? You're one of them?
No, Farah! This is not how it appears!
You're a sand monster! You lied to me all this time!
No! I have been tainted by the sands, this is true, but my mind and my heart are my own. Please believe me.
Stay away from me!
And with that, we hit rom-com movie status. With the whole poor communication mistake leads to the love interest running off to take a break stuff. The prince is kinda in simp mode now though, so I'll allow it. So the prince follows her after he transforms back to the normal prince.
Do you see now? The change was physical, nothing more!
Why should I believe you? Everything you have done contradicts this. I have seen the way you hunger for combat. You take pleasure in creating death. Your constant talk of bloody vengeance. Your cold disregard for your own people. You heard the women in the brothel as clearly as I did, yet you turned away.
But I came back. I came back! For you.
You are a prince in title only. Go and reclaim your throne. But know this. You do so alone.
You certainly have a way with women. Those you don't get killed can't get far enough away from you.
Damn, she just hit him with an arrow of guilt. So the prince goes back to the main mission to find the vizier. But while he's making his way through to Babylon's palace, he has a discussion with himself about what it means to be a warrior.
You've been so quiet. What's on your mind?
Perhaps she's right.
Where is the prince I used to know? You are a hardened warrior. Stop being so sentimental. It's not like you.
Were it something I could push away or ignore, I would.
You must try. What lies ahead will be the greatest test you have yet faced.
Tell me then, what do you believe it is to be a warrior?
It is to hunger for combat, to seek solution with the sword. Do you disagree?
Had you asked me when we first met, I would have said the same. Now, I am not so sure. I think a true warrior fights for something other than himself.
And what of the man that battles to better his own station, to improve his lot in life? Often it is the only way to achieve greatness.
But what you describe is not a man. It is a monster.
I see.
We will have to continue this discussion later.
Then, all of a sudden, the prince finds himself dealing with some sort of tree giant. It seems like that giant should be there, but when you think about it, it kind of doesn't really make sense. He just falls right on top of you. The prince rides the tree sand monster or whatever on through to the next section.
What has happened? These people are clearly in danger.
How convenient. A burning building filled with helpless citizens just begging for rescue.
What do you mean?
I mean, it sounds like a trap.
Against the Shadow Prince's advice, the prince rushes down to the building to help the people inside.
Poor prince. Locked inside a burning building and no way out. Too bad for you.
Well, look at that. A trap. Do you see now what happens when you try to help other people? You die.
Enoch is in here! It's going to burn! Help us! Please help us! Over here! Over here!
Father, give me guidance. Lend me strength. Wait, that's it! Where is the machinery that controls these conveyors? Quickly, please, there is not much time!
Above us. The stairs are burned, though. You will never be able to reach it.
Damn, that guy doesn't have a lot of faith in his own life. First, he's asking to be saved from burning alive, and then he's telling the prince that he don't have a chance in hell of helping him. Anyway, the prince uses the machinery in the conveyor belts to move the big-ass statue of his dad around, and then...
savior, friends. I tell you now and true, it is the Prince of Persia.
That can't be. He's come back to us. It is good to see you safe.
So now the prince has to chase the other homeboy who was at Kaileena's death. They should have done better establishing of these villains. They put them in the cinematic, but then the devs don't make them out to be anybody specific. They don't even have names. So when they attack the prince, Farah, or drag away Kaileena, you don't know that they are the vizier's actual lieutenants. They just look like the other bad guys. Anyway, the prince gives chase to another Lieutenant Sand Monster, which has real Spartacus vibes going on.
All right. I will admit, I was not expecting that.
So the prince has the twins. He has to focus his attention on the one with the sword. When the one with the axe tries to sneak attack the prince, you are supposed to evade and whoop up on the axe guy.
Seems I chose the right moment to return.
Thank you.
Lucky shot.
We should move. I'm sure more are on the way.
Be on your guard.
I always am.
Run! Kill these creatures!
But we can slow them! Go, Prince! Find the Vizier and finish him, so that this nightmare might finally end.
And with that, we'll go ahead and call it for this episode. I'm sorry, guys. I really wanted to make this a two-parter, but the conversations that the prince is having with himself and with the princess is kind of like taking up a lot of these stories here. Like, the story isn't as cut and dry as the second one, which I just kind of had to follow the prince doing a lot of things to get stuff done so that he can accomplish goals. This game is a lot more like the first game, in which he has to develop a relationship with Farah, But in the first game, the relationship that he developed with Farah wasn't really that good, and it seemed a lot more contrived. Now they're going out of their way to have him and Farah meet together to do a lot of things so that they have lots more conversations and do a lot of teamwork stuff so that they could just develop a quick relationship, and then they're going to use it as a payoff at the end, I guess. I don't know. Whereas I would cut conversations off a little bit faster if they don't serve the game properly, these conversations seem to serve the game a little bit more because it's more important for the prince's growth to happen in this story so that he can come to a conclusion himself, as opposed to him just trying to stop a bad guy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, if I cut all that other stuff out, then it would be as short as the first Prince of Persia video game plot summary, but since it's not that way, then it just happens to be longer. I'm sorry, guys. We'll see you next week. Please like and subscribe if you're okay with that. If you're not okay with that, hit the thumbs down, whatever. It's you know, it is what it is. Please share if you know somebody who likes the Prince of Persia, and share if you know somebody who likes video game plot summaries and would need one to help them figure out a game before they have to restart it or whatever. Anyway, until next time, you guys save me like Neo saved Agent Smith. Peace.